In this video, we're going to talk through how to approach AQA English Language Paper 2, Question 2. This question is worth 8 marks and requires you to look at both sources. It examines the second part of Assessment Objective 1 and requires you to select and synthesize evidence from different texts. This means you need to show your understanding of the information you've read in 2 sources, selecting and commenting on evidence you select from both texts in relation to the focus of the question. You'll be told to refer to both Source A and Source B and to write a summary of either a similarity or difference between them. Now, the first thing to do is to read the question, and then skim read the source materials. While you're reading the first text, highlight some of the key points related to the focus of the question. Then, skim the second text, focusing on the differences or similarities. Remember, the question can ask you to look for similarities or differences, so make sure you read the question carefully. The topic that you'll be asked to focus on could be something concrete, such as the differences between 2 boats, for example, or it could be something abstract, such as a feeling or experience. A top tip for this question is to try and select like-for-like points. So, if you're finding information about activities to do on holiday in one source, see if you can link it to information about activities to do on holiday in the other source, so your focus, inferences, and links are clearer. The most important thing to remember, though, for all of the questions for the GCSE language papers, is that less is more. You're far better off focusing on fewer points and writing in detail about them, than selecting lots of points and writing in much vaguer detail. Remembering the phrase, "say a lot about a little," should help you. Now, let's have a look at the mark scheme for this question. As you can see, you're expected to cover 3 key areas. The first is to make clear inferences from both of the texts. In other words, what can you work out for yourself by reading the text? What isn't actually said, but that you can find or work out on your own by reading carefully and using your comprehension skills? The second bullet point wants you to make clear references and/or textual details. You might call these quotes, that directly support what the question is asking you to focus on. Now, this might sound obvious, but it's important that you're talking about exactly what the examiner wants you to talk about. If the question is asking you about the differences between 2 boats, make sure you stick to talking about the boats, not the personalities of the passengers or the wildlife they saw on their journeys, for example. For the third bullet point, you'll need to be able to show the clear differences or similarities between the 2 texts. Again, this might sound obvious, but it's really important that you write about what those differences or similarities are in a clear way, so that your examiner finds it really easy to award you the marks. The last thing you'll need to do is to provide a statement, summarising what links the 2 texts. In our example responses video for this question, we look at some examples that take you through how to do this. So, to summarise then, to do well on this question, you'll need to make sure you cover the following things. Make points linked to the topic in the question, provide references to the text, be clear on what you can infer about the information you've included in your points, make links between the 2 sources, and make a final link at the end of the paragraph. Why not take a look now at the source material in the AQA style paper 2 attached to this pod, and have a think about some of those things before you tackle the example responses video for this question. See what similarities or differences you can discover. Good luck!